could build a personal DevOps learning lab in just a few minutes without any of that complicated setup. Well, today, we're going to dive into how AI is making that a reality and what it really means for anyone trying to break into tech.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever been super excited to learn a new tech skill, maybe shell scripting or cloud engineering, only to just slam into a wall with the crazy complicated setup you need just to get started?
And this right here, this is what we can call the learner's dilemma. It's this weird situation where the biggest hurdle isn't even learning the skill itself, but just getting the dang thing set up so you can start. I mean, we all know that hands-on practice is the only way to really learn this stuff. But building the environment to practice in, oh man, it can be a huge pain. It's intimidating, it can be expensive, or it just takes forever. And that initial friction, that setup struggle, honestly, it stops a ton of really talented people before they even get a chance to begin. But what if there was a shortcut, a way to just skip all of that? Well, this is exactly where modern AI comes in, offering a pretty revolutionary way to bypass that entire setup struggle. So here's the core idea. You use a generative AI platform to instantly build a complete personalized learning website just for you. It's totally interactive, and maybe the best part, the whole thing runs right in your web browser. No complicated installs, nothing. And when I say instantly, I'm not kidding. We're talking about having a custom lab ready to go in minutes. So let's break down how this actually works. Okay, check this out. This is the actual prompt someone used. You just tell the AI what you want. And notice how specific it is. Create a DevOps lab environment. Help me learn shell scripting from absolute basics, with theory and a playground. The details matter. So the whole process really just boils down to 3 super simple steps. First, you write a nice detailed prompt like the one we just saw. Second, the AI gets to work and generates all the code for you. And third, you launch your new web-based lab. That's it. It is that straightforward. All right, so you've launched your lab. Now what? What does it actually look like? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the interface. The layout is just beautifully simple, and it's clearly designed for learning. Over on the left-hand side, you get all the theory. We're talking clear explanations of the commands, how the syntax works, and plenty of practical examples. And then on the right side, that's where the magic happens. You have your playground, a fully interactive terminal. This means you can immediately try out what you just read on the left. You read the theory, you type the command. It creates this incredible, immediate feedback loop for learning. So, for example, your first set of exercises might look a little something like this. You'd start with the absolute basics, like the ls command to list files. Then you'd learn some variations, like lsl for more details or lsa to see hidden files. And then you'd move on to changing directories with cd. It's this perfectly guided step-by-step journey. Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? Almost too good to be true. And that's why we have to talk about the most important part of this whole thing, understanding the difference between this simulation and the real world. So what the AI builds is what we call a static lab. The best way to think about it is like a flight simulator, but for code. It looks and feels completely real for the lessons it was designed to teach, but it's not a live dynamic system. It's all pre-scripted. And here is a perfect example of what that means. In this static lab, if you try to run a command that wasn't part of the original lesson plan, something like find or grep, it just won't work. Why? Because the outputs for those commands weren't hard-coded into the lab. The system only knows how to pretend to do the things it was specifically told to simulate. This little table here just summarizes the differences perfectly. On one hand, you have the AI-generated lab. It's static, it's pre-scripted, it has a limited set of commands, but it's amazing for guided learning with absolutely zero setup. On the other hand, you have a real lab, like a VM or a cloud server, that's live, dynamic, and essential for advanced practice, but it requires setup. See, they serve totally different purposes. So when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway? Well, this whole AI-powered approach really represents a brand new and, I think, powerful way to just start your learning journey. And this really gets to the heart of it. The goal of a tool like this is absolutely not to replace real labs. You'll still need those. Its true purpose is to completely demolish that initial barrier to entry. It makes it easier than ever for a total beginner to get started, to build confidence, and to build that all-important momentum. So let's just quickly recap the key points here. First, AI can create these custom learning tools for you. instantly, just from a simple text prompt. Second, and this is crucial, it's a simulation, not a real server, so you gotta know its limits. Third, because of that, it's absolutely perfect for beginners who are just trying to learn the foundational concepts. And finally, its greatest strength is that it removes all that friction and just makes it easy to start. And that really brings us to the end. This kind of technology completely lowers the barrier for getting your hands dirty with code, for trying things out. So I guess the only question left to ask is, what's the first skill you're going to practice?